there, the three likes. That's what I'm talking about, y'all. All right. Hey, Martha. I essentially was so I'm here in Westwood, federal building in Westwood, California, Los Angeles, basically. And as you see behind me, we got the National Guard. It's National Guard patrolling the grounds of the federal building. They are here, and I was just really waiting to see if the ruling came out. Hey, Lady Classic. Hey, I was waiting to see if the ruling had dropped by now. So there's a Ninth District Court of Appeals. They're ruling now. It's three judges that are ruling now to see if Trump's deployment of the National Guard was legit. Was it legal? Did he have the right to override the governor's uh, power? Because Trump basically said, "Hey, send a National Guard to LA because," and this is the California National Guard, send them to LA because of the riots, everything, the protests that were going on. Hey, my eye. You said turning. You say you've been so busy turning the donuts. What's up? What's up? Um, yeah, I'm actually waiting to hear. I thought they would have already ruled, but I guess it doesn't happen overnight. It takes time. The wheels of justice takes time. But yeah, at a federal building here in Westwood, California, there's National Guards all over the place. There's a National Guard. Uh, what do they call them? Brigades or troops, or just the National Guard is in Santa Ana, which is further south of here, but that's Orange County. They're protecting the federal buildings in Santa Ana as well. But the question is, were they deployed legally? So, yeah, they're ruling now right now to see if the National Guard was uh, deployed legally. Trump sent the National Guard to Los Angeles, and that's the question. They're ruling that right now. There's a three judge panel right now. Three of them are deciding whether it was legal or not. And I'll just take a guess and say they're probably going to rule that it was unconstitutional. Um, just off of what I was seeing from one of the judges, he said it's it's a violation of the 10th Amendment. That's what they're saying. So were they deployed legally? What do y'all think? Y'all think the panel, the judges will rule that it was legal? Hey, Kiki Eyes, uh, iPad Go, FTW. What's that? What is FTW, bro? I don't know what that is. Yom J, appreciate ya. Appreciate. Let me just say hi to everybody. Martha, of course. Yeah, most likely it'll be constitutional. That's what I'm thinking. Um, hey, Open Mind, thank you for being a member. Janine Taylor, hey. Again, Yom J. Um, okay, so on other news, right? ICE, they've resumed the workplace raids. It's very interesting. I think last week, it was like Friday, I believe, that Trump said that a few of the representatives of a lot of these industries, mainly the hotel, restaurants, and farms, if they could cease those ICE raids specifically on the restaurant industry, the hotel industry, the farm people, farm workers. I saw a video of Homeland Security running after a guy in the field. It looked real crazy. They were running after someone in the field. But I guess last week it was told they were told to cease on those industries. They didn't say everywhere else. They specifically just said those industries. Those are the hotel, restaurant, and farm workers. It said cease on those raids of those workplaces, those industries, and things like that. Yeah, if it affects businesses, people, they will not raid. That's real. That's real. But yeah, the ICE, Homeland Security, they resumed the workplace raids today. So it's like they gave them a false sense of security, like, okay, yeah, they'll be safe, but apparently ICE they ramped up what it is that they're supposed to do. So speaking of, the LADA, the LA District Attorney, Nathan Hochman, he and the U.S. District Attorney, what is his name? Bill Esili, I believe that's his name. They had a public, uh, what do you call this damn shit? They basically just had a press conference. That's what it was. Just about the violent criminals and the people that they arrested over the weekend, last week and over the weekend. So for those who don't know, these process started last week. Mainly was centered in Los Angeles and downtown area. They imposed a curfew. What was that, Tuesday last week? During the protesting, you had a bunch of unsavory characters who came out, and they started doing all types of ratchet ish, just burning, looting, throwing stuff at cop cars, just inciting violence. And essentially, it wasn't all of them. It wasn't every protester or every group. There were just certain individuals that were doing that, and they're basically making the block hot. And that's part of the reason why the National Guard is in Los Angeles right now. But those few violent criminals, Nathan Hochman, the Los Angeles District Attorney, he essentially said, during the raids, all of these raids that they have been executing throughout Los Angeles County. David Lee, am I going to loot? The only thing I'm going to loot is your mama's bank account. Why would you ask me if I'm going to loot? I'm not masked up or anything. David Lee, LA is not hell. All right, I guess we finna do a roast fest, right? David Lee, where is your family from? I know it's a joke. It's a joke. But I was gonna joke on you. I was gonna say where your family from. No. I'm not gonna loot. There's no need for me to loot. But I will loot your mama's bank account. I'm just messing with you though. Let me stop that. Look, I don't want to be like Doja Cat. Side note, look, y'all heard what Doja Cat did? David Lee, no, I appreciate you, following, checking me out and stuff like that. Please subscribe. But did y'all hear what Doja Cat did? Side note, let's just talk about people that kind of like disrespect their, no, Jay, leave them be. It's not racial. We gonna let it ride. That's why I was like, we'll have this conversation. Because I'm not gonna go in on them. But Doja Cat ran into not a fan, but someone who's like a supporter of hers, and the guy had exhibit doing a live stream. Yeah, barcode, and your mama's on her OnlyFans. If I talk about your mama, don't get it twisted. I'm bringing up the Doja Cat thing because I'm just like juxtaposing what happened to her, and I'll clown. Don't get on this channel and think that I won't clown you. But Doja Cat actually like embarrassed the crap out of a supporter of hers. The guy had a clothing line. He's a little gay boy, and he was, I think he said something about boys hug boys. I don't know, but Doja Cat was like, "Oh my God, I love your shirt," and she was talking with him and stuff, and he was like, "Oh, I'm not a big fan, but I love you, and I'm glad." Blah blah blah. Anyway, he said, "I want to give you a shirt." She said, "Okay." She gave him a shirt, and then he actually gave him he gave her the shirt that was on his back. And the guy was like, "Oh my God, thank you." Like he's gonna get this promotion. She was hugging on him, and then she put her leg up on him, like that type of hug. Anyway, she went later on her Twitter and was like, "Oh, that guy, he was obnoxious. He was touching me. He assaulted me, and he stank." So don't get it twisted. If I'm on here and I'm clowning you and I say something about your mom, I don't know your mom. I'm just talking mess. So, but I'm not that. Uh, it's not with malice. I'm not clowning like that. But Doja Cat, man, yeah, I know some people that call her a witch. I understand why. Anyway, no, I will not be looting. Someone asked me earlier, will I be looting? No, I'm not looting. I have no reason to loot anything. I appreciate it, Martha. I'm trying. I'm trying. I guess I'll just go while. Yeah, she was hugging him like she hugged him and put her leg on him, like But she was like, "Oh my God, he violated me." Just fake outrage. She's the type of woman, and there's a lot of women who are like that. I'll say the histrionics, right? There's women that have just and men that have histrionic personality disorder, and it's always got to be something. It's always got to be something. Anyway, y'all, can you put your hand over your camera for the Stephen Curry edit, please? What are you talking about, Trippy? Hand over the camera for a Stephen Curry edit. I don't know what you're talking about, Trippy. Maybe that's a Gen Z thing. I don't know. I'm an early millennial. I don't know about any of the Stephen Curry. I'm not even in sports like that, y'all. There's a lot going on, Yvonne. And let me get back to what I was talking about, the subject at hand, which is National Guard being deployed and were they deployed legally, right? So that's the topic of discussion. I got that National Guard behind me, and I'm in front of a federal building. They're basically ruling to see if Trump overstepped his boundaries, if he violated the 10th Amendment. I guess states have their rights. So the governor is basically the emperor, the king, the president of the state. You're not supposed to override the federal, the sovereignty of a state. So Gavin Newsom sued the Trump administration, and they're in court right now saying, like, hey, did Trump overstep his boundaries? And Trump's response is like, look, if I didn't deploy the National Guard, LA would be burnt to the ground. Now, I don't know, I wouldn't go that far. And that's what I was getting back at when I talked about the Los Angeles District Attorney Nathan Hoffman and what he had to say, because he and the U.S. District Attorney California District Attorney had a press conference, and they just talked about the raids and the violence that has been going on in Los Angeles specifically. And again, it is spread out because there's things going on in Riverside County, which is east of here, about an hour east, 60 miles east, and about an hour south, Santa Ana. In fact, the National Guard is over in Santa Ana right now. And from what they have gathered when they arrest and took everyone in from these ICE raids, right? Those don't know, ICE is going around just picking up people. And it's scaring the crap out of a lot of people. Say they were protesting deportation. How bad was it? How bad it was really going to get. Trump is a character. Their central Cassie actually tells you in the speeches, "Wow, Kathy, that's crazy." Look, this whole world is a stage, though. This world is a stage. You got a point. Yeah, they're picking up illegals. You're right. Here's what it is. 10% of the people that they picked up had criminal convictions prior. Most of them had maybe, no criminal record, no criminal convictions or anything like that. Maybe a traffic ticket, maybe a speeding violation, stuff like that, right? Hispanics voted for this. Even if you did nothing wrong and you are in fear, imagine. Well, that's the topic really that I want to discuss. Just living in a fear-based existence. Progression in life begins without fear. So if you run around here in fear, lowers your vibration and lowers your, uh, it just lowers you in general because fear is a very low vibrational feeling, emotion. Is fear a feeling? Is fear an emotion? But regardless to what, it's low vibe. And you do not get a lot done in fear. You have to be progressive minded. And that's where the whole, even with the black white mentality comes in, where you start talking about black people, white people. So right now it's like, okay, Hispanics, are they black? Are they white? No, I said it out there on the protest lines. I was like, these Hispanics, because most of the illegals that they're illegal immigrants that they are highlighting are from Latin countries, but illegal immigration comes worldwide. You got Canadians who are illegally here. You got Europeans who are illegally here, etc. But the ones who have the most easiest access are from Latin American country, anything south of Mexico, right, and including Mexico. So they're highlighting the fact that it's a Hispanic thing. You say it's only white and black, nothing else. No, red man, it's three. It's people of color, white, because you classify yourself as white, and racist. That's just what I was taught. I keep it simple. It's only black and white, nothing else. I don't know about all that, red man. I'm saying that there's more to it than that. I put the three out there, the dynamic. And if you listen to my channel, you heard me mention that a few times. There's only three types of people. We got people of color, people that classify themselves as white, and you got racists. So when you get in this country, if you're an immigrant group that is to be absorbed into this country, if you come from any other place that's outside of Africa, or if you're not melanated for the most part, but even Ethiopians and Eritreans are classified as white. That's a whole other conversation. But if you are absorbed into this country, for the most part, let's just say, let me give you an example. The Italians, the Polish, who else? Jews. And then when you talk about whiteness globally, it's a small minority. That's a whole nother conversation. But even within the white groups, they have their own pecking order, right? So like the Anglo whites, they are probably the Protestant Anglo, meaning, English, Germanic. Then you got your whites who are like swarthy, I would say, like, Italian. They come from a place where it was a mixed race of people. Like a lot of people don't realize that Rome, which essentially is like Italy, it was a fixed mulatto race. It was a Europeans and Africans and all that. Anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. But if you're Italian, you came from Italy, you came to this country, your family came 100 years ago, you basically had to go through a hazing period. I'm overanalyzing it. No, I'm not. Tell me, am I wrong or not? Most of these people that come to this country and they're now classified as white. I'm just giving you the Italians as one example. They go through a hazing period. Even the Italians back then would be like, I'm not white, I'm Italian. Why they say that? Now they can call themselves white, but before they can call themselves white, they had to go through a hazing period. So it's like, you're Italian, okay, cool, that's your background. But you're not white. You're not part of this club. Now, what we want you to do is you have to give hell to those people of color. And a lot of the Italians did. Even though some Italians were lynched in the 1800s. And the reason why they were able to get justice is because they had a country to go back to, and their country raised hell about that. Y'all look that up. Some Italians were lynched. Anyway, a lot of Italians joined what? Fire departments. They pretty much cornered that whole sector. Uh, uh, I'm just speaking of New York, and the whole thing was though is like I said, their hazing period. How do you interact with these blacks? And that's the reason why the Italian had the Italian mafia stuff, because it was like they were not getting justice from the U.S. government. Anyway, I don't want to steer too much off into the conversation. Say it's not about race, Kathy. Come on, stop. Everything's about race when you're talking about uh, this. Race hustler, grow up. Nobody is holding you back today but yourself. Take some personal responsibility. Just for that, Army, let me hide you because I am not a race hustler and I do take accountability. Like your dad didn't take accountability for you. No, 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 no. This is not like a race discussion or race hustler situation. What I'm talking about is just the facts. And I was just saying that a lot of these people that come from other countries, what they do, they'll put you in a group, they'll classify you. The Latinos come from many parts of Central America, South America, Mexico. They come here and they will be classified as white. I guess it just depends on your skin color. But if you're classified as white, it's you get an easier time in this country. That's just straight up. So these Latinos had to go through a hazing period though. So it's a reason why they have that term. What is it? Mejor la raza, meaning uplift the race. And when they're talking about uplifting the race, they're not talking about uplifting with education. They're not talking about uplifting it with, jobs or, they're saying lighten the race. So a lot of Latino communities will use that mejor la raza, meaning like, don't marry or don't procreate with anybody black. Say you ain't teaching ish. Joshua Roy failed that. All right, man. Let me get you up out here. Bye. Um, so we got a bunch of trolls in here, right? You got a bunch of suspected white supremacists. That's what I'm going to call them. Um, but y'all, if y'all want to deny the fact that there's a pecking order in this country, and then there's pecking orders when it comes to different races, just go ahead and be oblivious. I think I spoke to that fact to one of my coworkers back then. And he was like, "Oh, there's no such thing." Okay, all right. He was an Indian guy too. Oh, there's no such thing. So I really don't even like to talk about race when it comes to certain individuals. I think us, for the most part, when I say us, black people in this country, we have a very good understanding of how race works, how racism works, because racism is a race for the resources, as one of my elders would say, and that's pretty much what it is. Racism is a race for the resources. Victim, victim, victim. Okay, the Dr. Allen, you sound like you let black men cuckold your wife. That's what you sound like. That's why you're talking about victim, victim, victim. Rick, come on, that joke is old. This is not exhibit. No, I'm not exhibit. Look, let me get back on topic though, for real. You say you should hold yourself back. You hold yourself back by focusing on race too much. What can you do that nobody else can do in this country? My people built this country. How about that? Like 6, 7 generations back, blacksmiths. We built this country. Where's your people from? So I don't get the whole holding myself back. No, if we built this damn country, I don't hold myself back because I recognize the greatness in my people. We built this country. This country wouldn't be ish. Even when you get down to civil rights, who were the forerunners when it comes to civil rights? Okay, Dre Allen, Dre Allen, man, just get out of here, bro. I'm cool on some of these people. Appreciate the people that are in the house. I got a whole bunch of people who are here trying to divert the conversation. It's not happening. I am here. Shout out to the Marine. Well, the Marine. Shout out to the Marines first, but shout out to the National Guard who are behind me. I thought the ruling would have came in already about whether um, Trump legally deployed the National Guard to Los Angeles. So that's the reason why I'm here. I get to talk about other stuff. Why do you insult people who disagree with you instead of putting something behind what you're saying? Because I am not here for that conversation just yet. But we can talk about it. If you want to talk about it, become a member, hit me, comment section, say, hey, I want to discuss woo woo woo. I will bring you on. No, it's not because I'm dumb. Your mama's dumb. And I will bring you on and we can debate. But in reality, there's no debating going on. You know what I'm saying? There's not going to be a whole debate situation. It's just going to be okay. Make your point. Are you a scholar in uh, whatever you're talking about? Probably not. You know, so go back to flipping those burgers and don't put extra onions on my shit, right? All right. The question at hand though, were these National Guard, California National Guard, were they deployed legally? That's the question, and that's the topic. That is the topic. You know, I don't know if any of my trolls here. I mean, I don't know if any of my mods are here, but let's get the trolls up out of here. Anybody talking about anything stupid, get them out of here. We good. We don't need them. Let me see. Let me check because essentially I was checking to see if they made the ruling, if they made the ruling public, and it looks like they did not make the ruling public just yet. Okay, so I was sitting here just trying to find out the situation about the California federal court, um, the court ruling. It's been an hour. They actually started an hour and a half ago. Federal court ruling. Okay, they started the debate. There's three judges on this panel, and they're all talking about whether Trump's deployment of the California National Guard was illegal or not. So it's just still saying, you know, federal court to decide if Trump can override Newsom, and no one's saying if it was a ruling or not. So I guess they're still in, and it's on Zoom. I guess if you guys are interested, I think you can look it up, but it is on Zoom. And they did speak on the fact that um, Trump override Newsom to deploy the National Guard in the riots, for the riots. Yeah. Um, again, Trump said if he didn't deploy those National Guards, if he didn't deploy the troops, that LA would be burned to the ground. And that's he's putting a little too much on it. It probably would have gotten a little bit more crazy, but I don't think it would have been a situation where it would have been like 92, LA of 92. Nah. The LAPD, they handled it. They did a lot. They were doing a lot. Like I said, if you guys look at my coverage of the protest last week and mainly Saturday during the No Kings Day protest, I was actually down there, and I was filming, and I was getting the reaction and seeing how the police and the protesters were interacting. So now there's a whole new thing where LAPD, there's a whole case now, a lot of excessive force. They're saying it's a lot of excessive force that LAPD did over the. Oh, I know you, Rainey. That ain't what your mama said. Um, so they said LAPD did a lot of excessive force over the past week. So the protesters. I did see an article where this one guy, he was a protester, he ended up getting unalive. No. He didn't get on. I'm sorry. That's a whole nother story. That's somewhere in another state. I'm gonna talk about that brother who got unalived as well. But LAPD. Let's focus on LAPD. LAPD excessive force. They shot someone in the eye with a projectile, and dude, like it looked bad. And, you know, the after effect, his whole eye was swollen. He looked like Quasimodo, right? And he had, you know, it just looked really really bad, yo. Like they basically, he said it was like for no reason. They shot him for no reason. I mean, he's lucky because it could have been, you know, not just a projectile. It could have been something else. You get what I'm saying? Not like that though. I don't think it's right for the police to, in any situation, police are there to, for the most part, de-escalate situation. They should not be there to push. Brian, that's what your mama. Yeah, your mama ordered me too. She got me from Wish. She said, do your best impression. The funny thing is, Brian, you know, that's family. I got Washingtons in my family. But anyway, long story short, the situation with the police, LAPD specifically, being, yeah, she was disappointed. I know she was disappointed, but she did hit me back though. I did get her. She said, "Don't, I'm not going to call you through Wish. Just here's my private line." Then she gave me her beeper number. Yeah, that old bitch. Your mama's an old bitch, Brian. LAPD and the excessive force. Shout out to Dr. Molina, Black Lives Matter. I was a producer for their, their show. Shout out to the people of Black Lives Matter, the real Black Lives Matter, not the fake one. But Dr. Molina, she, I think she got hit with some pepper spray. She went out there on Saturday, and mind you, this is a little person, not little, like she's not a midget. She's shorter than me, but she's not a midget. I'm just saying, she's not like this big, she's a, a nice little lady, right? And they pepper sprayed her. My Baba Akili, he's part of Black Lives Matter too. They did some things. They manhandled him. Black lesbian matters. Okay, that was funny. God, that was funny. I ain't gonna front. That was funny. Don't disrespect the BLM family. That is like family. I got much. I don't agree with everything that BLM is on, but I because when he said black lesbian, that was funny. But that's family. Just because I have a relationship with a lot of the key people, so shout out to them though. But a few of the people who went down there in support, they got pepper spray. They got hit with tear gas. Like I said, Baba Key's the older guy. Appreciate you, Plasma Owl. Let me share some disillusion. I live in Alaska, and the cartel comes here too now. On top of that, Chinese tourists trying to sneak into our military bases. Yo, thanks for sharing that, Plasma Owl. Yo, I believe it. See, I think people don't really realize what's going on. There's a lot. There's a lot of people who are just invested in the destruction of this country. So again, shout out to the California National Guard for being here. Why they covering? Why they at a federal building? It's a lot more to it than the news is telling y'all. But yeah, police, LAPD specifically, they handled it. They did their thing. I don't think it was needed for them to have the Marines. Honestly, the National Guard being here, their presence, I think that just, it lets some of these fools know, nah. Yeah. Plasma. I mean, look, there's a lot of cleaning house that needs to happen. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand. Is this what y'all call wilding? It's not wilding. I can tell, Brian, that you are a Caucasian male. Wilding. They would call it wilding. It was just wilding. That's what they would call it. I don't know nothing about wilding. And no, we were not wilding. These people were protesting, and you had some fools out here doing a whole bunch of other stuff. But during the ICE raids again, Homeland Security said only 10% of these people were violent, had violent criminal crimes connected to their name. The rest little stuff. Thank you, my eye. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. The rest were just, traffic tickets, stuff like that. So a lot of these people were just working and flying below the radar. They were not getting messed with. They were not getting harassed at all. So that's something to say, though. When you, of course, if you go to another country, you shouldn't be out there, making yourself known, doing jumping jacks and licking off shots. Like you better keep it low key. You get what I'm saying? Um, Brian, okay, Brian. All right, Brian. Yeah, I don't hate that. I'm older than you. That's why I said I could be your daddy. Um, LAPD and the excessive force. I just wanted to talk about that. LAPD, excessive force. LAPD, for the most part, had it under control. But seeing these here, I think that deterred a lot of other stuff. That deterred. I saw LAPD like they was, man. LAPD was ready. So don't get it twisted. A lot of these cops, they were ready. They're ready to put in some work. They're ready for like. So out of all the protests that were going on, it wasn't a lot of people out here that was doing a whole lot, but you had a few bad apples, and yeah, it just was bad. It was bad. But yeah, for the most part, there were peaceful protests. I got something else I wanted to speak on too. What is this? What was the guy? Um, yeah, there was a situation I wanted to bring up. What is this guy, man? Hold on, you guys. Uh, the guy who got unalive. Um, Afa Afa Alu, Project Runway. I don't know if you guys. I don't watch Project Runway. I never did, but I do remember it was a brother who was in Salt Lake City. He's one of the Samoan brothers, right? And his name was Arthur or Afa Lu. There was a shooting that happened in Salt Lake City at the No Kings March, and he ended up getting unalive. He was only 39 years old. The irony, he got shot by a peace officer. The guy's supposed to be a peace officer, and uh, Alpha ended up getting unalived by a peace officer. So rest in peace to him. See, there's a lot of other stuff that goes on behind the scenes, and I'm not gonna say I find that suspicious, but it's definitely crazy. It's like he just was out there, just peaceful protest. I don't think he had any intentions of. He don't even look like the guy that would be out there doing all that crazy stuff. He just was out there, and they basically he ended up getting unalive uh, accidentally by a peace officer. So rest in peace to that brother, the Samoan brother who was in Salt Lake City that ended up losing his life at a march, at the No Kings March, No Kings Day parade in um, Salt Lake City. The people in Compton, I didn't even, so look, the people in Compton, and I know what you're talking about. There are a bunch of stuff that happened in South LA where they were looting, and that's uncalled for. Again, I'm not advocating for any of the violence. That was uncalled for. I think they broke into a auto zone right there off of Imperial and Hoover, right there by the Denver lanes. They broke into the auto zone and they went in there and they ransacked the place. Man, that's unfortunate. They did that in downtown LA as well. I think that's like an orchestrated thing where they're doing it. How's LA? LA is pretty calm for the most part, Jesse. Like not a lot is going on. Like I was downtown LA in front of the federal building yesterday. I went live and nobody nobody was out. There were no protesters, none of that. So it was pretty chill. So right now LA is chill. I was just waiting to hear back from the word to see if the National Guard deployment was illegal. And I wanted to talk that. North Texas rallies turned aggressive as well. No, yeah. They see And Jag, yeah, you already know what they're doing. They're pushing for that. They're pushing for that. That's what they want. They're pushing for that. Okay. I see somebody right here. I'm about to relocate because I don't know what's going on here. Um, Again, there's all kind of other stuff that go on that people aren't really looking at it, and they don't really see the forest for the trees. Hold on, y'all, look, because you see this fool here. I don't know who he is. I don't know who he just decided, hey, I'm gonna stand right next to you. Man, get your weird. If I'm on camera, y'all know I'd be like, get your weird ass Yankovic. Um, yeah. Oh no, I'm gonna be safe. I'm gonna bounce. I'm gonna bounce like King Weirdo did when he saw me. Um, you know, the pow powing of, oh damn, he scared me. Look, that guy scared the hell out of me. He bounced. All right. Um, the unalivement. No, it wasn't an unalivement. I'm sorry. It was a pow powing of a governor, a political quote unquote assassination that happened. So, like, I think people are not really understanding what's really going on behind the scenes when it comes to the political climate within this country. And we got to be very, very conscientious of that. There's a lot of traitors. Like, let's be straight up. There's a lot of traitors in the midst. Let's be straight. Don't get caught up into the whole thing of, oh, okay, you know. No, there's a lot of traitors in the midst. You know what I'm saying? I think we are. Hey, who you talking about? Don't say that. BLM, don't say that. You bell pepper, no, yeah, that's right. If you're talking about me, I'm gonna hide you though. BLM. People are weird. Why you got weirdos online? That's it. There's just a bunch of weirdos online. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, a bunch of traders in the midst. And I decided to come here to this federal building, which is in Westwood, California, right? Shout out to the federales. Because it looks like Iran, because little Iran is like up the street, right? A little another lizard. I'm sorry, little lizard be scaring the crap out of me. Iran is there's a lot going on in Iran right now, and you know I don't want to speak on stuff that I don't know, but I got to do the research on it because I'm just now really getting into like global news. And when I say just now, I'm just talking about within the last 10 years, and I've been paying attention to the news since I was little. I'm talking about local news, but the global news, that's a whole different dynamic. That's a whole different situation. So I'm under the impression that all this is taking place because, like I said, the political climate within the political climate within this country is real crazy. So you got a bunch of people who are pretty much invested in the destruction of this country. Shout out to the National Guard. They really got this place. Yeah, they got this place under. Hold on, let me show y'all real quick. Oh, I should have from the other angle. They got this place under control. So, yeah. But I'm not sure if the ruling came in. I don't know if that ruling came in yet. But you guys know if that ruling, if they ruled on whether you guys deployment here or not is legal or not, if Trump was able to, they didn't say anything yet? Okay. Well, regardless of what, we appreciate y'all being here. For real. So yeah, the ruling hasn't dropped just yet, but come on, man. Again, I think their presence alone, but here's what we don't want. We don't want a situation where this is common, right? I don't want to go to a place and this is common where we just see, you know, like the potential danger. And that's why I said, Jag, we're gonna do the thing about liberty versus freedom. But I don't want to go to a place where it's like everywhere we go, There's a bunch of security. There's a bunch of guards. There's the police. Like, this is not what is it? Well, in Israel they have that where it's like, they have that potentiality of somebody coming and doing like this country is, we don't have any, we shouldn't have enemies like that, even though the reality is we're far away from a lot of the rest of the potential dangers in the world, but we don't deserve to be in a country where federal buildings need to be guarded by the federal officers. We the people should be able to just take care of any of the nuisance and all the nonsense that goes on right now. But like that brother said, Plasma Al, he's talking about the cartels and them even being in Alaska, and you got the Chinese. Like I'm telling y'all, we got to be conscientious of that danger. We got a bunch of traitors in this country. We got a whole bunch of people who are not really for this country. Let's keep it a buck. And they want to see us under siege like this. So far, Los Angeles, with all of the deployments of the, LAPD, the police, I don't know about the military, the situation with the National Guard, but all the damages, all the things that has gone with the police, so far, we had lost, or it's a $20 million cost. It's a $20 million. We're $20 million in debt. I guess that's not a whole lot when you're talking about someone like the Waltons and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm next to the VA hospital. Yep, the VA hospital right over here. So yeah, but so far all of the damages that have happened over the past weeks, about $20 million. So that's not sustainable. We can't, continue to live like this. Everything, for the most part, a lot of people come to this country, and I've worked with a lot of people who come from like places like South Korea, even North Korea, Czechoslovakia, when it was a Czechoslovakia, right? Middle East. I worked with this guy. He's from Jordan, and I think he even spent time in Libya too. But he said the main thing, well, not he, most of them, they said the main thing they like about this country, safety. You can't run from the fact that you're safe pretty much here in this country. In other countries where, the cartel was one thing, but when you just got mob rule, and let's get it, don't get it twisted. Democracy pretty much means mob rule. But that's, when they say, oh, we want democracy, you gotta be careful what you're asking for. Democracy really means mob rule. But when you got other people from other countries and they come to this country and they're like, yeah, I'd rather be here because I'm safe, I don't think y'all get it. I don't think most of the people get it. You're safe. Even my daughter, shout out to her. She's grown now. I know she was so anti-police at one time. We're walking downtown LA near the old glass house, and she saw that they had like commemorations of the police officers, the fallen, whatever. And she was so upset. This is bull crap. Why they got that up there? And I look, I'm pro. If you're a cop and you, there's a brother on here. What's his name? Officer Charles Faulkner. Shout out to Charles Faulkner. He has a YouTube channel. Y'all should go subscribe. He's a Baltimore police officer, and he was one of them guys that was over in Iraq and in the Middle East kicking down doors back in, not back in the day, but not too long ago when we were over there. And he's a good guy. He's a good guy, and he's a cop, and he really cares for people. So don't get it twisted. I'm not anti-cop, but I am anti-race soldier. You got a lot of soldiers, cops who are racist. Fuck them. So I had to break that down to her. I was like, there's a difference between like a real police officer and a race soldier. And I said, too, I'm going to drop you off right here on one end of Skid Row. I need you to walk to the jury district, which is like a mile in. Pretty much that area where they got curfew. Oh, and the curfew's been lifted. The curfew for LA has been lifted. That's what I meant to, yeah, I didn't touch on that. Hold on one second. The curfew for LA has officially been lifted. Last night, the curfew It wasn't from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. It was from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. So for since what, Tuesday of last week, there was a curfew installed pretty much in a 1 mile radius of LA, downtown LA. And it only went from like 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. But you got to understand that hurts businesses. And I think that's why Karen Bass, shout out to Karen Bass, she lifted that curfew and said, there's really no need. Because I'm telling you, yesterday I went out there, no protest, no nothing, no nothing, no nothing. But anyway, I was telling my daughter, try walking from one end of downtown. You're going to pass through Skid Row. Pretty much that's it. And meet me over here. Let's see how far you may. And, you know, she's a pretty girl. She's pretty tall, but she can't fight. Not like that. I'm pretty sure she could fight, but I'm just saying. But no, like safety. That's the thing. Safety. And that's what I was letting her know. It's like, don't be anti-cop like that. There's some bad apples in everywhere you go, but don't be anti-cop like that. You know? So I was just giving her the rules of how society works. And she's such a spoiled American kid. I'm like, you need to go to Vietnam where your grandma at, and let's see how that plays out. Or your great grandma. Like, most people come to this country because of the safety. For real. Hold on, I haven't been looking at the chat, y'all. If y'all can, please like. I shouldn't have this low of likes. I should have more likes. And if y'all can subscribe, I appreciate it. I think I'm almost at 10K subscribers, so I appreciate if I can get some more subscribers. And I was going to look for the ICE raids and stuff like that. I still might go out. They are back in effect. Unfortunately, you got a lot of ICE agents, Department of Homeland Security agents going around raiding. They said they're raiding Americans, so I guess I got to get my passport and my birth certificate because I ain't trying to get swept up in no ICE raid. Next time y'all gonna see me, yeah, I'm broadcasting from this prison cell that ICE. They say I'm an African immigrant because my name is not American. No, I'm not joking, but yeah. The ICE is still going on. The curfew has been lifted. There's no more curfew. I have yet to hear any news about the deployment, whether it's legal or not. Yeah, I totally did not put that in my notes. I guess I did. Wait, what's going on? What happened? Hold on. What's going on? Oh no, my video's still going on. Somebody said they shut my video down. All right, y'all. Oh, before I go, check this out. I don't know what happened here. Y'all see this? This just happened though. Obviously, it's a Prius. And it looks like it was either torched. Yeah. It was either torched or it could have been an electrical issue. This look crazy, right? I think this happened though while everything was going on with the situation with and you're right behind the federal building, as you can see. So I'm not sure what was going on here. I thought it was a Elon Musk vehicle, but it wasn't. It's a Prius. So there's no telling. Yeah, it looked like it might have been torched, or that's what it looks like. But anyway, besides the damage that's going on right here that you see here, there's not a lot going on in LA. And yeah, let me wrap it up. Let me wrap this up. There's not a lot going on in LA. Peaceful burnt car. Bring them up. I'll get you flaunting around you. Yeah, y'all hit the like button, please. Let me get up out of here because you know. Oh damn, that's in my eye. When you go to the hospital as a legal immigrant, are you as illegal immigrants, are you to receive birth certificates? If you're born in this country, you I guess you have a birthright. I think. Yeah, I think so. But again, I was just touching up on a few things. The situation with the excessive force with the LAPD. That's one thing, but it's very minor. But there were a lot of cases that they brought to the forefront talking about that. And yeah, I just got your message, Leah. That was, I guess, that was from earlier, huh? But the situation with the excessive force with the LAPD, I've seen a report, and I know people personally who have been excessively handled by the LAPD. And I just, if it, just go after them legally, for real. Go after them legally. You get what I'm saying? Trump deployed the National Guard. I was waiting to get the news to see if it was deemed legal or not. I talked to the National Guard that we just walked past, and they said they haven't heard anything. Likely, it'll probably be deemed illegal, and he will have to transfer. Trump will have to transfer that control of the National Guard to the governor, Gavin Newsom, and I'm sure Gavin Newsom's going to tell him to get going. That's what's going to happen. Yeah, I saw a video of some girl just trying to walk home. So, no, not me, some girl, and they shot her point blank with a rubber. Yeah, that has happened, Christopher Nicholson. That has happened. I've heard about that. Look, got proof, sue him. Got proof, sue him. Say they weren't ready to go all out. They just wasted money without results for the real. LA can pay them fines. Most of these people will settle. It's just extra money that's getting doled out and dished out, and it's not needed. But yeah, y'all, I'll keep you guys abreast of what's going on for the most part. There's nothing really going on in LA like that. I really was just waiting to hear what was going on with the National Guard. I knew it wasn't going to be a situation where the National Guard was going to have to leave like right away. But as soon as the situation is resolved, the 3 appointed judges are going to rule. If they rule in the favor of the governor, they'll just transfer the power of the National Guard to the governor. The governor's more than likely going to be like, okay, y'all stand down. If it goes the other way, I'll come back and we'll talk about it. But yeah, what was I was going to leave with a point, but I totally forgot. I totally forgot what the point I was going to say, and it was very important. But that's it. There ain't nothing much else to say. That's pretty much it. Y'all be safe. Please hit the like button. If you're not a member here, please subscribe. I will appreciate that, and we'll go from there. All right, y'all. Peace.